So let's go ahead and get started. Again, thank you all so much for being here on time and ready. To introduce myself, my name is Dylan Green. I'm the College and Career Readiness Coordinator for Eastern Florida State College. So the way I like to introduce my role is if you have any issues trying to figure out how to get to point B from your current point A, I'm here to help you out with that. So a lot of times Eastern Florida is that point B, and that makes sense for a lot of reasons. But if for whatever reason you want to explore other options, I do that as well. As long as you're making decisions that help you be successful, I'm there for you. A couple housekeeping things before we get started. Mainly, during the webinar, we're just going to keep our microphone muted and camera off. Now, as attendees, you actually shouldn't have access to either your camera or microphone, but you can post questions and comments in the chat as we go through, and I've got a team of illustrious, venerated professionals here to help you out with that. So without further ado, let's actually go ahead and get started with the presentation proper. So first of all, welcome again. My name is Dylan Green. If you have any questions, we'll be putting my contact information coming up here shortly. And thank you so much again for joining our virtual presentation. I do want to take a quick moment to introduce my background singers, my support team I've got here. We're all dynamite folks. And starting off with Miranda Goldfarb, the manager of CTP Retention and Transition. We also have Ms. Rachel Gould, the advising coordinator for the Cocoa campus, and Nick Sabano, the Palm Bay campus advising coordinator, here to help answer questions that show up in the chat tonight. Special shout outs as well to Mr. Myron Campbell, our college and career outreach specialist, and also Lynn Demetriadis, who is our program coordinator for dual enrollment. So definitely the brains of the operation as far as all of our dual enrollment questions and preparation. Before we get started, I want to cover a few details to make it easier for you to participate. So we do want to make this interactive as much as possible, even though it's virtual. So please keep those questions handy as we'll be answering them as we go through the presentation. And then after our 30-minute presentation concludes at around 7, we'll be hosting about 30 minutes of Q&A as well. So please keep those handy for that. We also want to direct you to the resource links that were available to you in the Q&A section and also currently in the chat. So like I said, there's the Florida Department of Education comparison chart, dual enrollment page, FAQ information page, details on our advanced standing credit, and then a few other useful resources as well. So let's get started. So we created this information session for parents who are interested in learning about the pathways offered at Eastern Florida State College so they can decide which is the best option for their student. At Eastern Florida, there are different choices available for students who want to dual enroll. So we offer regular dual enrollment, early admission, collegiate high, career and technical programs, and advanced standing credit. And all of these options will be covered here today. So what do you already know about these pathways for students to earn college credit while they're in high school? Hopefully you've heard that these options are free, including the books for dual enrollment, that's a big one, and that the credits they earn in these different programs can count in both high school and college, which is why we have the dual in dual enrollment and the advance in advanced standing credit. We're going to cover each of these options in detail during this presentation today. So some numbers to know. Everybody loves numbers, right? Or maybe it's just me. Here are some interesting numbers related specifically to dual enrollment at EFSC. So let's take a moment to guess what they might represent. So first and foremost, 431. And you can go ahead and put your guesses in the chat or just think of them real quick because we're going to go by these fairly quickly. That's actually the number of 2021 Brevard County students who earned their AA degree upon high school graduation. 3,610 is the number of currently enrolled dual enrollment students so far this school year. 2.7 million, big number, right? It's approximately the amount of in-state tuition that was saved by the parents of those 431 students for those 2 years worth of college. So here's the math. 60 credit hours times $104 per credit hour times 431 students equals just under 2.7 million. So $2,689,440 if we want to be exact. And then $21,430 is the estimated cost of tuition and expenses for the freshman year at the University of Florida. Not to call out UF by any means, but we like to promote ourselves as the affordable option. And that breaks down just like this. So this is according to the UF website from the 1920 school year. The estimated cost for just freshman year at the University of Florida. Even if your student attends Eastern Florida after graduating high school, their in-state tuition cost for 2 years, 60 credit hours worth, is only $6,240. Note that the tuition cost for the first year only at UF is more than the cost for 2 years here. Now, of course, with dual enrollment, your student could get up to 60 credits for less than both of those options, which is absolutely free. Now, on the top of college expenses, here are some things to think about. Do you already have some type of college fund prepared for your student? How much of their education will it cover? If you have Florida prepaid or some other type of education savings account with dual enrollment, depending on the guidelines you use, you could save that money for your student to use to finish a bachelor's degree and possibly some graduate school. So, what about financial aid? Bright futures as well, and scholarships and student loans. So after high school graduation, there are other options available to pay for college. Financial aid, bright futures, and other types of scholarships. Now, hopefully your student will not need student loans, but remember, taking free dual enrollment classes or CTE courses in high school can lessen that need for any of those financial options. And it's not too soon to begin planning for dual enrollment. I know we've got some eighth grade students here with us tonight, so this is particularly relevant for all of you. Students are getting a jump start on things in middle school as well. So many take high school level courses, which show up on their high school transcript. In eighth grade, students can get prepared for dual enrollment by maintaining a GPA of 3.0 or higher, and knowing their FSA and end of course tests can affect what they will be able to take in the ninth grade. So for the advanced standing credit option, use that chart I linked earlier in the chat to determine which programs are offered at your student's future high school. And then just to be sure, if I could get one of my colleagues to go ahead and post it again in the chat, just to be super sure. Things that are important to remember in the ninth grade as well. Your ninth graders are encouraged to take honors classes. The rigor of these courses will get them prepared for the Pert Test. In order to gain eligibility, they must score as college ready in reading and writing. They should consider completing their high school online course and HOPE requirements. And if they're interested in collegiate, they must also score college ready in math. So Collegiate High is the dual enrollment option that is designed for students who want to graduate high school with their AA. Students who are eligible for Collegiate are typically invited to an information session in January of their ninth grade year. Now, another important topic, FERPA. I usually ask, or we usually like to ask at the in-person sessions way back when, if anybody happens to know what FERPA stands for. But instead of posting it in the chat, we'll just give you the answer. So it's the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. This refers to the privacy of your student's academic record here at the college. So even though they're underage and you are their parent, the college cannot release any information to you about your student's academic record without their written consent. Now, at the high school, if you want to find out about your students' grades or attendance, you can just call the school. Here, in order to learn that information, your student must have what we call a FERPA form on file. So this form gives specific instruction on what can be released to you. And you cannot simply call to gain that info. You have to come into the school with a photo ID. Other things to keep in mind with the college level. So courses are developed for adult learners. There are students of all ages in these classes and discussions will not be censored. And coursework is not modified to the high school level. After all, if your student tested as college ready and started dual enrollment here, they are considered to be ready for the content. So the level of difficulty is designed to the standards of high school completion. Students should plan for at least 2 hours of study per week for each hour in class. And our Eastern Florida calendar does not always match up with Brevard schools. There are several holidays or teacher work days when students are off at the high school, but are still expected to be present for their college classes. So how does it all compare? There are many options for high school students to earn college credit. You can see here that the weighted GPA and university core academic areas are the same for dual enrollment, IB, ACE, and AP courses. And you can review that chart again in the chat as well from the Florida Department of Education by clicking the link in the chat. The chart itself shows a side-by-side comparison of those different options, so you can make an educated decision on the best one for your student. Now, in a regular dual enrollment, once eligibility is met, students may take up to 3 courses per semester. Courses count for both high school and college credit, and every class taken is a head start and money saved for your student. So early admission. Early admission is the option for the student who wishes to attend full time at Eastern Florida State College in their senior year. Students in the early admission program do not take any classes at the high school, but they're still able to participate in extracurricular activities. There's a special application for early admission, and students must have a GPA of 3.0 or higher with college-ready reading, writing, and math scores. So early admitted students take at least 4 classes each semester with a total of 12 or more credit hours. Collegiate high school is the option for students who wish to graduate high school with their Associate of Arts degree. It typically begins their 10th grade year and requires a 3.0 minimum GPA. Students must test college ready on the PERT for reading, writing, and math. They have a special application process and a separate mandatory orientation. And I want to make especially clear, this is not that orientation. There's a separate orientation that you have to go through for that particular pathway. So if you think dual enrollment is the right path for your student, here are the steps to follow. Step 1, talk to your student. You know your student best, their maturity level, their study skills, so make sure you decide together if this is the best fit for them. Step 2, have your student meet with their guidance counselor before applying. The counselor will play a very important role in helping you and your student decide. And if your student is homeschooled, which I know we have at least a few of you in the audience tonight, congratulations, parents, you are their guidance counselor. Step 3, after meeting with the counselor, have your student complete the online application. So you'll just go to easternflorida.edu/go/apply and create a new account to begin the application process. Step 4, after the application has been processed, your student will receive an acceptance letter with instructions on accessing an online mandatory orientation, which again, want to point out, this is not that, right? That'll be a separate event that will happen in the future, and we'll show you what that looks like here in just a minute. Step 5 will be scheduling and taking the Pert test. So remember to click the link in the Q&A, it's already in there, to access information on testing options. Now, if your student has taken the SAT or ACT within the last 2 years, those scores can then be used for placement. Step 6, meet again with the high school counselor to complete the registration form. The classes chosen need to fit into the high school schedule, and the counselor must help guide you. The registration form must be signed by the parent, the counselor, the student, and the principal. So you will have your student upload that signed form to their student Dropbox to submit it to advising, not in person. And I think we can have a little bit of follow up on that since we have, again, so many great advising authorities here with us tonight, if we have any further questions about that process. And then step number 7, making an appointment with an Eastern Florida State College academic advisor to register for classes, and we can accommodate virtual or in-person appointments at your convenience. Now let's go ahead and dive into more of our career and technical program options within dual enrollment and actually outside of dual enrollment through advanced standing credit. So national studies show that 8 out of 10 jobs now require training beyond high school, but not necessarily a 4-year degree. So the primary perception of dual enrollment is that it is exclusively designed for students who intend to transfer to a university upon graduation, but that is not the only pathway for earning accelerated college credit through high school. Our career and technical associate and certificate programs range from 1 semester terms to 2 years in length. Now, in most programs, industry certifications are built into our certificate programs, and the certificate program credits can be applied toward earning an associate's degree. Now, some of these programs are limited access, so be sure to have your student discuss these options with their advisor if they're interested. Outside of dual enrollment, advanced standing credit is another pathway for high school students to get this advanced credit. So this might be considered one of our best kept secrets. So simply put, Brevard high schools have career and technical education, or CTE, courses available at their school, which those can then be credited toward college after a student has completed high school and enrolled in a CTE program at Eastern Florida. So let's watch a quick video for an easy breakdown, and then we'll hear a little bit more about how this works.
Get a jump start on your career while still in high school with advanced standing credit at Eastern Florida State College. What is advanced standing credit? It's a pathway towards earning college credit while still in high school. Students can earn free college credit after high school for taking certain combinations of qualified courses in high school and college. Here's how it works. First, Brevard Public School students should enroll in eligible career and technical education coursework at their high school. This coursework varies by school and may include subjects such as accounting, manufacturing, education, and more. Check with your school counselor on which programs are available and interest you. Next, make the grade. Complete all of the required high school courses. Be sure to earn the grade required. Here comes the most important part. Graduate high school. Yay! After high school, enroll at EFSC and complete the college courses outlined in your program's agreement. Grades matter here too. Once all conditions are met, request credit from the registrar's office. Once approved, bam! The bonus courses get added to your transcript. It's like you took the classes without stepping foot in the classroom. Depending on the program, bonus credits can range from 3 to over 20 credit hours, saving you hundreds or even thousands of dollars and time. Put yourself on the fast track to your career by enrolling in career and technical education today. To learn more about advanced standing credit, including the process, eligible programs, and more, visit easternflorida.edu/go/jumpstart.
Awesome. And now I'll go ahead and introduce Miranda Goldfarb, who I briefly introduced at the beginning, but now she'll go into a little bit more detail about some of these credit options.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm Miranda Goldfarb. I'm overseeing the associate degrees and college credit certificate here in Eastern Florida State College. This is a slight different pathway for your kiddos if they are interested in jumping in the workforce. And if they're currently enrolled or would like to be enrolled in current tech in their high school and take some courses there, they can certainly come over to us after graduation, as the video was explaining, and getting those credits. That saves you a lot of debt. The other thing is that it's going to help your kids to enter the workforce quickly if that is the goal. A lot of companies are waiting to see our graduates and hiring them on the spot. We have a lot of career path, a lot of opportunities for internships. And in general, we show a lot of success on that route, in addition to the dual enrollment AA route. Again, specifically to target towards the workforce and hiring our students. Next slide. So we have a couple of options for current tech. We have Associate of Science degree, which is an AS degree, and we also have the CCCs, which is our college credit certificates. The college credit certificates are typically shorter, and they are also part of the Associate of Sciences degrees. So those CCCs can serve as a separate entity and give your kids an opportunity to find a job right then and there, earning the college credit certificate, and after that proceed to the Associate of Sciences, or it could be served as a stepping stone into an Associate of Science degree. The advantage, again, for college credit certificate is, number one, they don't have to score a high grade for the PERT. I believe I'm not even sure that they need to take the PERT for that. And they can just come in and start that pathway into the Associate of Science, and again, find a job like that. Or, excuse me, it could serve, again, as a stepping stone towards the Associate of Science. This slide shows high skill. Our programs are offering, they requires post-secondary training to develop advanced skills and knowledge. Higher pay rate than the median wage. If you have a college credit certificate or a CTC, which is hours, for example, we have cosmetology, health sciences, public safety. Research shows that somebody who is graduating from those programs will make more than somebody who is not. And the third thing, which is super important, is it's in demand. Business and industry need workers, as everybody know. After the pandemic, businesses are really searching for our graduates, and for a lot of our programs, they're certainly literally waiting for our students to graduate and grabbing them, getting them a job, which is one of the goals that we have here in Current Tech. Next slide. Okay, so we have about 17 articulation with Brevard Public Schools. If somebody wants to contact me after this session, I'll be more than happy to sit with you and explain it in more details. We can see some of the programs here: accounting, advanced manufacturing, aviation, digital design, all the way from computer science to health science to police academy, to culinary, to cosmetology, to television production. We have a very large menu for every student interest. Okay, so this is for the industry certification. That's another very important perk that we have in our programs. If some of you are familiar with those certificates, these are extremely in high demand in the workforce right now in businesses. AutoCAD, SolidWorks, Cisco, CompTIA, and MSSC CPT. Some of them are, AutoCAD is drafting, SolidWorks has to do with engineering technology, Cisco is programming, CompTIA is also programming networking, and they are very much desired. As I said, in the workforce, those who are able to pass the industry certification examinations while they're taking courses with us are basically guaranteed a job immediately. Even if they didn't graduate with us, even though we want them to, they can still earn that during their studies. We offer free boot camps for those students who are enrolled. For instance, CompTIA, we have a boot camp while you're an engineering technology student. You can go ahead and take that boot camp. It's absolutely free for the students. And they pass the test and they earn the industry cert. That's worth a lot in the workforce. So as you can see, all these options, there's a lot of information, AS, CCC, CTC, articulation agreements, and industry certifications. I would be more than happy to talk to you in private. You can come see me in Cocoa in Melbourne, and we can discuss further. So some restrictions on advanced study credit, attend EFSC no later than 3 years after high school. This is about if your student is currently taking current technical education courses in the high school right now, and they would like to transfer that after graduation, then they shouldn't wait more than 3 years. For most of our agreements, they need to earn B or better on a high school level. They have to be accepted and enrolled in the program and successfully complete 12 credits, which is typically 4 courses in the program while they're already with us. So there are some limitations, but most of our students don't have a problem with that. And they get the credits and save a lot of money. The industry certifications, okay, we talked about that. The industry certifications, they must not be expired and have been issued within 3 years prior to enrollment, and enroll in applicable program and successfully complete the required number of credits of major courses in the program. We have a lot of very advanced students that are taking advantage of this opportunity, especially again in computer programming and engineering and drafting. So come visit us, and we are going to be happy to see you and show you our labs, show you our opportunities to go straight into the workforce. So the benefits of training and education beyond high school, once again, gives you an opportunity to make a better earning. You have a stable employment, you have a stable housing, you have reliable transportation and access to healthcare and longer lifespan, which is really what we're here for, in addition to the great education that your children are going to get here.
Awesome. I can go ahead and jump back in. Thanks so much, Miranda, for that awesome info. So we've got just a couple statistics here to throw out because, again, we're numbers people. So what we like to say is the grass is not always greener on the other side. The Brevard County economy is popping, and there are plenty of good jobs right here at home. So Brevard's unemployment rate is 4.2%, which is less than the state of Florida at large, which is 4.7, and significantly less than the national unemployment rate of 6.3. So those numbers might have actually shrunk a little bit in the last couple months, but still, we're very much leading the pack in terms of unemployment rates. Furthermore, the Millikan Institute recently ranked the Palm Bay, Melbourne, Titusville metro statistical area, which is a mouthful, at number 2 in the nation, just behind the Provo, Ogden, Utah area, and ahead of the Austin, Round Rock, Georgetown, Texas area. So the ranking is based on the region's ability to develop and sustain quality jobs, which lead to quality lifestyle. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you'd like more information about how BPS career and technical programs transition to Eastern Florida State College. An educated workforce is truly the foundation of a strong economy. So thanks so much for listening to that. We appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and transition now into more success resources, and we always highlight here, also free. Everything you see right here are covered in your tuition. And these are some more of those best kept secrets for some reason. We love to throw out this information, but oftentimes at these information sessions, it's a lot at you at once. So please feel free to follow up with any of us if you have questions on any of these. So at Eastern Florida, we really do want your student to succeed in their college education whenever they decide to start, right? So all students, including those dual enrolled students, will have access to all these success resources, just like any other Eastern student. So we've got free tutoring, workshops, volunteer service learning opportunities, access to SAIL accommodations, and our Career Center, which, just to highlight a couple things super quick, our SAIL office Basically, if you're unfamiliar with what that is, we like to say that a lot of our students have different exceptionalities, which some are visible, some are invisible, and it's our job as an institution of higher learning to provide the most accessible and accommodating learning environment to all of our students, right? So if that means we need to accommodate you needing some extra time to take a test, or a designated note taker, or audio visual aids, or something specific to you, we just want to make sure you're communicating those needs with us and we can accommodate, right? A lot of times people say, well, I had an IEP or a different sort of accessibility thing in place. If you had one, great, we can talk about it. If not, it's not required to use sales services at the higher education level. So just a quick shout out to Sale. And then for the Career Center, our career planning and development team, we'll actually hear directly from them, starring one of their coordinators, one Casey Koval. So instead of going on any farther, I'm going to go ahead and let Casey take it away.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Parent Preview Night. It is so nice to meet you all. My name is Casey Koval, and I work at Eastern Florida State College's Career Center. That's me right there. I actually was a dual enrollment student myself and completed my AA degree at Eastern Florida State College. I'm here tonight because I want to let you know about a special assessment we offer that might interest you. If you're planning to come to college, you might have a few questions bouncing around in your head, like, what do I want to be when I grow up? And what kind of job or career fits me best? Or maybe, what should I major in? These are all perfectly normal questions that every single student thinks about at some point. When I was a student at Eastern Florida State College, I also didn't know what I wanted to do, which is why I'm speaking with you today. We at the Career Center can help you answer all these questions and more. Here's how. We offer an online assessment called the My Plan. Now, don't think test when you hear the word assessment. This isn't an exam that's measuring your abilities. It's more like the personality tests that you might enjoy taking online and sharing on your social media. What's cool about My Plan is that it gives you an in-depth look at who you are, what grabs your attention, and what's most important to you. It then takes that information and gives you a list of hundreds of careers ranked by best match. This can be a great way to figure out a few options that might interest you. You can come to the Career Center on any of our 4 campuses to complete the assessment, or you can simply email or call us and we can actually help you set it up over the phone so you can take it from your personal computer. The reason you have to contact us is so we can give you a special license code so you can take the full exam for free. It only takes about 5 minutes to set up and about 1 hour to complete the assessment on your own time. When you're done, we can have a follow-up phone call or meeting to discuss the results. Best of all, you don't have to be admitted, enrolled, or currently taking classes at Eastern Florida to take the My Plan assessment. We want you to have an idea of what you want to be before you come to the college, so you can get started as easily as possible. Here's the contact information for each campus's Career Center. You're welcome to take out your phone and snap a picture of it, or write down the email and phone number of the campus you'll most likely attend, but you can honestly reach out to any one of us. Simply email or call and let us know you'd like to take the My Plan assessment to discover a career, and we'll be happy to help. Have a wonderful rest of your orientation. Thank you so much for your time. The Career Center looks forward to working with you.
Awesome. Big thank you to Casey for sending in that video. I can personally attest to the Career Center, career planning and development as much as I can. We're running a little over, so I can't gush as much as I'd like to, but I do want to highlight that each of our 4 campuses, again, have a specific area for career planning and development. And this is actually updated, at least for the Melbourne campus, as opposed to Building 10. They're now in Building 2, which is right next to the library area. So this is a great place for students who are undecided about what program they want to take, or for current students and graduates to learn about job opportunities and learn career building transferable skills. And again, me being the college and career readiness coordinator, I work very closely with this awesome team. And if you're sitting there right now thinking, I know exactly what I want to go and study, that's great. I love that for you. If just as valuably you're saying, I have no idea what I want to study, that's perfectly valid. We want to explore that and help you find the resources to make the best, most well-informed decision for yourself. So students can participate in assessments to help them explore potential career fields like the My Plan, Career Coach, Kiersey assessments, as well as job-related career services like interview prep, resume review. I like to say it's the education piece and the connection piece. So they'll help you learn more about the different careers out there and how to get prepared for them, and also actually help you make those connections by hosting job fairs and helping you network with employers. So finally, as we're coming to the end of our allotted 30 minutes, minute 35 here, the most important step is to encourage and support your student towards success. So no matter what path they end up choosing. Now, before we get to the questions from the chat, which I imagine there are quite a few and will continue to be, we did want to share this contact information with you. So if you have any further questions after this presentation about dual enrollment specifically, you're more than welcome to contact Lynn Demetriadis, and her information is right here. She's the program coordinator for dual enrollment, among other things. And then if you have further questions about advanced standing credit or our CTE, CTP, you are more than welcome to contact Miranda, who is here with us tonight. So again, I really wanted to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really hope you've gained a better understanding of the different pathways your student can earn college credit at Eastern Florida. So we'll now take some time to answer the questions from the chat. And if you haven't already, if you've been saving them for now, please go ahead and post them. We're going to answer as many as we can in our remaining 24 minutes before 7:30 rolls around. And then again, I want to highlight that a recording of this session will be uploaded to the Eastern Florida YouTube channel within the next couple days. So feel free to rewatch or share. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and stop presenting and turn it over to my colleagues and us. So Eastern Florida folks, if you'd like to turn on your camera, great. If not, that's totally okay as well. But we'll go ahead and keep looking through the chat for some questions. And please, y'all feel free to jump in and answer any of these without having to type them out. You're more than welcome to unmute yourselves and whatever you'd prefer.
Okay, I can start with, I'm Rachel. Hi, guys. I can start with Megan's question. I heard 10th grade beginning for dual enrollment. So you meet in 9th grade, so then you're ready to go after your student graduates 9th grade. So they can start in the summer C or D session going into 10th grade. So that's why it's important to meet with your guidance counselor while they're still in 9th. And unfortunately, if you score low on the PERT exam, you are not able to take college courses while in high school. Math we don't look at, but you do need to have scores for reading and writing. The homeschooler can participate in the CTE program. You should contact Miranda Goldfarb. She can answer that more for you. We do have the homeschool. Okay, go ahead.
Thanks, Rachel. They can do the same thing that they're about to do with any other program. So I suggest you contact your counselor. Oh, you don't have it. I'm sorry. You can call me and we can assess. I'm sorry. We can assess that case by case. But basically, it shouldn't be any different than any other program, unless it's a limited access program, and all rules are the same for all students. So.
Okay, and then if a student does dual enrollment, do they travel back and forth between the high school campus and EFSC? Yes, yep. If they don't want to take the classes online, then typically an 8 o'clock class to 9:15 or 9:25 to 10:40. So they do morning classes, or if they are in sports, or else you can do afternoon classes when school's out, and night classes. So we do have some options for you. Okay. When is the best time to take the Pert test? So we actually go into the high schools and give you a Pert test around January, February, or March. But you are more than welcome to sign up and take it at our college as well. Yes, and you can take a class. You can take dual enrollment classes over the summer. If you're collegiate high school, you can take 2, and if you are regular dual enrollment, you can take 1. You can take more. It's called Echo, and that is where you pay for it, but it's not dual enrollment. It does not go back to the high school. It only waits until your high school graduation, and then we apply it to your college transcript. So we can talk more about that too. So the PERT test is given on all the EFSC campuses, and we do go into the high school once a year. And yes, your 9th grader can meet with your guidance counselor in 9th grade, and then they have to wait until 10th grade, but they can do it over the summer as a rising 10th grader. So they can start our summer C session, which starts June 13th, and they graduate May 26th. So they have a little bit of time. And you can prepare yourself. They suggest you take honors classes in 9th grade, and that way you'll better prepare yourself for the PERT. We do have study guides as well, and you can try it. And if you don't pass it, you can wait 30 days. You could wait a year. It's up to you.
We do strongly recommend that anybody can go to the Career Center and do all of the testing that's there without ever even being a student here at EFSC. And so we just strongly encourage you that, because you'll at least know what some of your interests are, some of your skill sets are. And the only disadvantage to not being, to answer the question of the missing the deadline, you can still do dual enrollment courses. The only difference is twofold. One is that you're not bused back and forth during your school year. And number 2, that you can only take 1 class during the summer if you're a regular dual enrollment student, where a collegiate high school or early college can then take 2 in the summer. So in reality, there really is no disadvantage one way or another. And the sample test for the PERT, I do 2 things. We do have one on our website as a practice PERT test, and you can also Google PERT, P-E-R-T, and it's going to give you about 4, 5, 6 different practice PERT tests that you can kind of play with and get comfortable with what that test looks like. Remember, when you're taking the PERT test, there is no time limit. You can sit and take your time through it and take your hands off the keyboard, relax a little, and then go back at it.
I'm not
Go ahead. Good, Rach.
I was gonna say, I'm not sure about the Hope Online. Sorry, that is through your high school. And you can just go to the Career Center. They recommend you have an appointment, but you can certainly walk in, no problem. If you miss the deadline for collegiate high school, there's plenty of time for your student to still graduate with the AA and the high school diploma at the same time. Their senior year, they can do early admissions and take 5 classes, 6 classes, whatever. And you can also take additional classes over the summer, the Echo, which you would pay for, but you still can do it.
Mm-hmm. And dual enrollment courses are not considered out of state. With the completion of the AA degree at one of our state universities, your AA degree is taken as is, and even transferring without completing your AA degree, it's up to the accepting or receiving institution to take your credits in. Remember, our credits are as accredited. We stand on the same level as UF, FSU, University of North Florida, UCF. Our credits are just like theirs in the value of SACS accreditation. So our courses are valued the same way.
You can jump into dual enrollment in any grade as well. So if you have an 11th grader, no problem. As long as you pass the reading and writing section of the PERT, you are in. And the dual enrollment classes do count to a 4-year degree. Actually, your AA degree is the first 2 years of your 4-year degree. So it's awesome.
And I don't think that the Career Center changes hours for the summer. So excellent question. Um, for those of you not in the know, Eastern Florida is closed on Fridays. And that usually is followed up by like a big whoop whoop from all of us Eastern Florida folks because we automatically get Fridays off. Same with y'all taking classes. Nobody's going to offer those classes. So Monday through Thursday for the Career Center, 8 to 5:30 normally, unless they have maybe something come up like a job fair. But you can always double check that on their website, which I'll go ahead and throw in the chat for everybody.
One of the other questions is, are you able to take classes after the A degree is earned? And the answer is yes, you can. You would simply have to change your major into what those specific course or direction that you wanted to go into so that we know actually what you're heading for. Financial aid will look at that as a criteria for paying for school with the scholarships as well as Pell Grant and everything else along the lines of that. First thing to do starting dual enrollment is in actuality, sit down with your high school guidance counselor. And that they are the key. They are part of that team that we all meet because we are not one standing alone. It's high school counselors, EFSC advisors, the district, Brevard Public School, EFSC, your parents, and you, the student, are all part of the same team helping you succeed for that. So the first thing to do, meet with your high school guidance counselor or sit down right now and have a conversation with your children. If you're the parent that's here tonight, have a conversation with your children because not all children are ready for dual enrollment.
And you can do dual enrollment online. For example, Cocoa Beach High School does not have busing, so they are more than welcome to join. They just do it online. I think we
Speaking
got
of,
them.
yeah, great. I wanted to throw in just kind of not directly related, but tangentially. As an Eastern Florida student, even dual enrolled, you get a free Space Coast Area Transit Pass, which I don't think we brought up yet. But that's a really cool perk. So, you know, I'm looking just right outside. My office is very close to the 7-Eleven. I see those gas prices going up and up. So a nice little perk to get some of that public transport too. Now, as far as buses from the school, that'll depend totally on your school if we have that relationship already. So maybe online makes more sense in that capacity too.
The other thing to remember is that as a dual enrollment student, you have accessibility to every resource that a regular college student has. So if you need to have, you know, some math tutoring, or you need to have an edit on a paper that you're writing, all of that is available to you. Our Career Center is available, and all across the board, everything else is the same way. Those resources are yours the moment you become an EFSC student.
Absolutely, well said. And so my role is a lot of if you have a question and you don't quite know who could answer it best, you know, I can do some light career counseling, we can do some exploration, we can talk about advising, but if you wanted to get put into classes, I'm not going to step on advising's toes because they're the masters of that domain. But I'm going to introduce you to my friends Rachel and Nick, and they're going to help you out.
I think we have busing to all schools except for Cocoa Beach because we've driven it to Cocoa campus and we've driven it to Melbourne campus and they're pretty much equal and it's still too long to get those students in the appropriate time frame. But I believe every other school buses now, we only provide busing for 10th graders, Collegiate High School, unless there's room on the bus and then it's on a first come first serve basis. So again, your high school will know that.
Nick, you are muted.
My bad. Early admission for Raymond, it is a minimum of 4 courses and 12 credits. You cannot have 3 classes that add up to 12 credits or more. You have to have 4 courses minimum and 12 credits plus, 12 or more credits for early admissions in your senior year.
There's a question here about Edgewood. Rachel, Nick, do you know if we bus to Edgewood?
I do not think we bus to Edgewood.
We do not
I-
bus to Edgewood. They do not have an early college or / collegiate high school program, but their students do dual enrollment. And many times their students are doing dual enrollment right there at Edgewood, as is West Shore also. They'll do like the algebra, trig, pre-calc, some of those courses along the lines of that.
And you coordinate your own schedule. Like if you do sports after school, then you can do your dual enrollment, at the 8 o'clock hour. That's where online comes in. So you work with your guidance counselor for your schedule, and that's how you come up with it. So there's no conflicts. Thanks, Miranda. I didn't see that.
No, you're welcome. I just wanted to add a couple of things about the Edgewood and West Shore and Cocoa Beach. I know that some schools are encouraging AP classes, but I just want the parents to be aware that you can do both. And a lot of times, once again, it's more beneficial to finish high school with an AA degree or an AS degree or an industry cert and an AA degree. All sorts of combination. There's not one way to walk in for every child. And that is why we have these wonderful people here in every campus helping your kiddos to find the best pathway for them. So please, I encourage you to come talk to us in addition to the high school counselors to, get some more information about other pathways you can get.
One of the last questions here, will dual enrollment and AP, can they be taken together? And the answer is yes, but here's a very careful thing that you have to bring into consideration. AP, IB, and Cambridge courses, or ACE courses, all have college relevance to them, college applications. So if you're taking English language at high school, that course passed as a final test, not what you get throughout the year. That is going to give you college credit. It's going to give you actually Composition 1. So if any of the students are doing AP, IB, or Cambridge, you have to be very, very much aware of what courses they're taking so that you don't duplicate the same credit, because you're only going to get credit for a course once. So if you're doing English language, you don't take Composition 1. If you're doing your biology as an ACE course, you do not do general biology, and vice versa. So high school guidance counselor and your EFSC advisor are keys to know what courses you're taking at the high school in AP, IB, and Cambridge. And I would say that Dylan probably could put in our contact information for us, but you can contact your college, the campus that you're closest to be able to contact any one of the advisors that are on those campuses, because we all work with individual high schools too.
Absolutely, yeah. And the first slide, I would go back to it, but it was just our names and titles, not our email addresses and phone numbers. But you're more than welcome to hit me up, or if folks want to kind of pop that in the chat, my Eastern folks, because I do not have your numbers and emails memorized, and my email's wonky because I'm not Green D, I'm Green D with the Y. But you're.
And also, as a note for me, I'm only going to be here for a month because I'm retiring May 31st. So you want to talk to Rachel.
You're just going to drop that? Oh my gosh. My blind reaction. Well, kudos to Nick. Oh my gosh. I'm going to throw out a little applause. Big applause for Nick.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. 21 and a half years is enough.
Yeah.
Well deserved. Wow. And to act with such decorum during one of your final acts, I so appreciate you.
Yeah.
You're very welcome.
Yes, Miranda, you're Goldfarb M at Eastern, right? I can go ahead and type that out. Oh,
It
already
took
on
10
it.
minutes to type, but I'm in there. We have a question from, I believe it's Edgewood student parent that asking if courses are available in Titusville. It depends on the course, correct? and depends on the program, depends on the semester. But typically, the general education courses are offered all around.
Yes.
And as long as we're kind of in a lull, I did want to give my colleague and good buddy Myron Campbell a chance to just kind of introduce himself, because we didn't have a chance to really hear from him at the beginning, and he does such great work and he's such an amazing person. So I'm shouting him out. I see his camera coming on. Myron, tell us a little bit about how you'll be interacting with these students in their very near future.
Thank you, Dylan. Very eloquent introduction there. I must say thank you very much. Dinner's on me. But yeah, like Dylan was
For all of
saying,
us?
Nick, you're retiring, so I definitely got you. But like Dylan was saying, I am actually the outreach specialist here at Eastern Florida State College. So it's my role to mostly work with the seniors. So once your students become seniors, we have lots of different initiatives, whether it's coming to the high schools or bringing them to us. I actually just had a workshop last week, which was called Go Hire, Make the Switch, which is a workshop. It's a transition workshop for dual enrollment seniors that are getting ready to finish out, but say they might want to continue on, finish an AA degree, or maybe they just have questions about how to transfer out to a university once they finish. I coordinate events like that. Want to bring students on campus so that they can see some of the different programs firsthand. And much like Dylan, meet with students one-on-one if they have questions. We can even meet them at the high schools a lot of times. So I'm essentially the boots on the ground, in and out of the high schools, bringing the students to us, but mainly with the seniors. So very excited to be here. I hope to see some future dual enrollment students and parents of future dual enrollment students. We had a great turnout, tons of great questions. We look forward to working with you and your students in the future. We let Will in.
I see we've got another question from Sai, I believe, asking about FSA and EOC. Was that discussed already? I think it sounds familiar.
So we do have some students at a very young age dual enroll here. You should contact Lynn Demetriadis for anyone that's going to dual enroll younger than the 9th grade going into 10th grade, and she can answer specific questions for you. But it is written that 7th graders can dual enroll with us. So let me put her number. Well, yeah, let me put her number in there for you.
I'm on it, Rachel.
I
Oh,
beat both of you. Who's
just
buying
kidding.
me dinner?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, who's buying me dinner?
Well, here's phone number
It's
2.
impressive.
Awesome. We're at 7:28, everybody. So we're going to plan to end right at about 7:30. So please, any other kind of thoughts or questions you might have for us? And again, like, it's perfectly valid to say, gosh, this was information overload. I don't know what I don't know. And, follow up with us in the future. I get that a lot in the career side of the house for sure. I am going to love that comment. Thank you so much. And that one, thank you so much.
If your student needs to retake the PERT, they can just call and schedule it. You need to wait 30 days in between taking it, and then there's a $10 fee per session. And you only have to take the section that the student didn't. They break it up, reading, writing, and math. So if they pass the writing, you only have to retake the reading. So, or vice versa.
And a student can take even just one class. They don't have to be full-time. They don't have to take 3 courses or 2. They can just take one class. They can do an exploratory class if they just don't know what they want to do. Take something that's going to be more exploratory within a vein of discipline or interest that they might like or be interested in.
And then I think one last question here from Kimberly before we close it up.
So you should take the PERT as soon as possible. Like, as long as there's a lot of moving pieces, like you have to meet with your guidance counselor, you have to submit the form, you don't want to miss the first day. Like so you should take it as soon as possible. There's not really a cutoff date required by us. If your high school guidance counselor has a cutoff date, then that would be up to the high school. But with us, there's no cutoff date. You just want to do it as soon as possible.
Alrighty, everybody, I just went ahead and put the links in the chat. So real quick, before we wrap it up entirely, I wanted to say thanks so much again. I'm going to see if I can't download our attendance list. There it is. Thanks again. Really appreciate everybody. This was a lot of fun for me. I always like meeting people, even if it is virtually. If you'd like to visit us at the Cocoa campus, you're welcome to. Well, I speak for myself and Myron and Rachel, but we've got clearly dynamite staff members on every single campus to help you out. So thank you all so much. Have a great night. If any of my colleagues want to say a final word or two, you're welcome to.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good
Thank you
night,
guys for
everyone.
joining
Have a
us.
great night. Be safe.
I would
Thanks,
say
y'all.
safe travels, but safe logging off.
Yeah, safe logging off for sure. Awesome. Bye now.